thought I'd make a video to help those people who are thinking about purchasing an XP DEUS metal detector. I'll tell you about the pros and I'll tell you about the cons, and I'll tell you about the problems I've had with it. But anyway, so you'll hear my rant at the end of this, but I want to tell you the good side anyway first. The metal detector itself, you probably know, is very lightweight, and I mean very lightweight, so you can swing it for hours without getting fatigued. But the one I purchased was the one with the 9-inch coil. Yeah. Good for like parks, which you're not allowed to do in the UK unless you have permission. Good for beaches at the top, you know, on the dry sand, and it does work in the wet, but not as good as obviously as the Maynard sovereigns and things like that. But it will work in the wet. I love the way the shaft retracts to a small size, so you can fit it into your car or whatever pretty easily. So that's a plus point. I love the controls. They're pretty simplistic, easy to use, and ideal for anybody that's just starting in metal detecting, can just switch it on and go. Or there is a more expert menu system on there for them people who want to go that bit, you know, a bit more advanced into it. The wireless side also is a plus for it. Great to have a set of headphones on you without being restricted by the cables. Love that side of it as well. But the rest you probably all know about, because you can have a look on the forums or other YouTube videos on all the plus points of it. But the bad points, right? Where do I start? Right. The bad points. First of all, just from observation, I've never given them any great use yet. I've used it for about 10 minutes in the field, so they seem to perform very well. But the bad point is basically, I don't know if you can see it, is you see this hinge here? There's a cable running through it to the other headphone, and you know, over a period of time, this, I should imagine, this here will either fray or snap. Somebody else has pointed this out on YouTube as well, but I thought I'd put everything together, what I've found about this XP DEUS metal detector. Right, that is going to actually pull on that cable, which you can see it's pulling already. So that's, you know, same on the other side as well. So I don't think they're gonna last too long, to be honest with you. But anyway, we'll see how that goes. The other bad point about this is that it's the actual plastic they're made from. They feel very thin, you know, very thin, cheap plastic. Just not what you'd expect on a £1,000 plus metal detector, to be honest. I know you can replace these back phones, but you know, it still should be better quality than that, to be honest with you. And these, the cup, the back cups, these here are just very thin and very tacky feeling, you know, like them cheap Chinese headphones. So to be honest with you, I'm not impressed with the build quality of that. The control box itself seems, you know, it seems very good, but the rest of it, I don't know, just not what I would expect, you know, out of a, you know, a £1,000 plus machine. Right, the next thing I want to tell you about, which somebody else on YouTube, I'm forgetting his name, has mentioned as well, is if you go beach metal detecting, you need to cover, you see them gold or brass connectors. I think they're brass. You see them brass connectors there? Somebody's mentioned that they do corrode with the seawater and, you know, the sand and that, so it is better to cover them connectors to make it just last that bit longer. So I suggest putting a, like he did, he suggested putting a bit of tape over just to protect it while you're out, which I thoroughly recommend you do. So that's another little point you should be aware of. That you really need to do that. Right, now for the rant. I took it out in the field, and the first 10 minutes of using it, I noticed the control box was actually wobbling on top of the stem. And it was more apparent when I was pressing the buttons to change the programs and whatever. So I took it off, thinking it was me that's incorrectly fitted it, and put it back on, and I noticed it was still wobbling. But I couldn't do much out in the field, so I just kept on using it that way. Once I got it home, I had a closer look at it, and I noticed the problem was with these two screws here. I don't know if you can see, there's one either side. There's one there, and there's one there as well. What happened is basically them two screws there are the only thing that holds this plastic bit on the top of the stem. But if you think about it, it'll just rock. It'll act like a hinge, which it does. It just wobbles up and down. So if you try and tighten it, it'll just make it worse, because there's no metal inserts or anything inside of there to tighten it up against. It's just self-tappers. That's all they are, going through a plastic hole. So the more you tighten it, the more it's making that hole bigger, so the looser it gets. So what I had to do is to fix it, I had to take them screws out and insert on the inside of the pole a load of silicone, just some clear silicone sealer. And what I did was, as soon as it was wet, I put that in, put the clip on the top, shoved it in, let it set, and then put some bigger screws in, because the screws that came with it were the self-tappers, not screws. The self-tappers are very small and they didn't have much thread on them. Here are the original ones that I took out, and you know, you'd expect bolts or something, but not. Just two self-tappers. So you can imagine one self-tapper either end. It's hard to do this with a camera. Right, one self-tapper either end. You know, it's obviously going to swivel up and down. Do you know what I mean? There's nothing to stop it swiveling at all. It just acts like a hinge. I had to put some bigger ones on it just to hold it a bit better. But to be honest with you, there's no way I should have to do that with a brand new metal detector. You know, 10 minutes within using it, I came across this issue straight away. And you know, you'd expect that from a cheap, you know, child's toy metal detector, but not something of this sort of price. You know, £1,300 for something, it's disgraceful, to be honest. To be actually designed that way with just two cheap self-tappers going through is terrible. So come on lads, you know, if you're going to design something, you know, design it a bit better than that, because, you know, there's a lot of thought gone into the stem with it retracting and everything, but there's no thought gone into this, the build at all. It's just, it seems like a last minute rush. I'm just not happy with that. You know, for a metal detector of this sort of price, just shouldn't, you know, expect that. So anyway, anybody that's thinking of buying one, I'm sure you'll come across this problem. just like I did. I've never seen it mentioned on the forums or anything, but I thought I'd warn you about it, so just to make you decide. But you shouldn't, modifications like this before I've even got to detect anything is absolutely ridiculous. So XP, sort that out, because you're gonna start losing customers, and you know, people don't want to put the hard-earned cash into something that's only gonna last 10 minutes. You know, that's just absolutely ridiculous in my eyes. But anyway, thank you for watching the video, and I just thought I'd let you all know. Try not to flame us, because I know there is some XP lovers out there, but I just thought I'd warn the people who are about to go to shops or buy one online. Thanks very much. Thanks a lot. Bye.